So are you a stressed out leader? Kind of figuring out what the hell you're going to do with your life because it feels like complete chaos right now. And all you do is feel overwhelmed and that you're on this like treadmill every single day. Hey, if that's how you're feeling, I get it because I have been burnt out twice in my career. And the last time I got burnt out as an executive, I made a complete career shift. So let's talk about burnout and how you can start to either lessen the impacts of it, recover from it, or prevent it altogether. So you're flirting with disaster, burnout's just around the corner, you feel overwhelmed, you're tired, you're not sleeping well, things are just like uprooted and not going well for you. What do you do? Well, here's 5 things that I did to help myself out. The first thing I did was I took a good hard look at what I controlled, what I influenced, and what I was absent of control and influence. Part of the problem with burnout is we start to feel out of control. Everything starts to feel like chaos. So in order to feel more empowered, the first thing you can do is look at what you actually have control, what's in your span of control, and start looking at where you can make changes or adaptations to ensure that you reduce your stress load. This can include everything from delegating to staff, things that you shouldn't be doing, really learning how to, and this is hard for leaders, not do everything, but delegate is a key to leadership for your survival, but also for the growth of your teams. You also have control over your schedule, how your meetings are run. You have control over your reactions, whether you think so or not. You have control over how you speak, how you present, how you frame things. These are all things you have control over. Additionally, it's what you influence. In my case, it was governance tables. I would influence. So maybe I couldn't influence the actual direction. Maybe I couldn't influence the project that I was being told to implement, but I could potentially influence the how and the when. So where you can, use your leadership skills and perhaps even negotiating skills to influence slight shifts in things to take the pressure off your staff. Maybe the timeline is too tight and you just can't make it. Or maybe there aren't enough resources and you can influence maybe more resources coming your way. Whatever the case may be, look at what you influence and try to really exercise that influence as much as possible. And when it comes to absent of control and influence, you have to learn to let go of the things and own the outcomes of things that you have no control over. If you have a toxic leader, you have no control over how they behave. Zero. But you have full control over how you respond and react to it. The second thing that's really hard for leaders, and it's something I had to work on, was setting boundaries and sticking to them. Setting boundaries is really important. And it's not just about setting boundaries at work, but it's also setting boundaries at home and in other areas of our lives. It might mean that you're not on a PTA anymore because you just don't have time for that. Maybe it means that your kids have to choose one activity and not have 2 and 3 each because you just don't have time to drive everybody everywhere every night. When it comes to work, it might mean that you have a lunch hour that is to be respected and you just make it a non-negotiable in your calendar. I did, where I would be unavailable for 45 minutes. Even in the world of emergency management where I worked, very, very, very rarely did anything happen in those 45 minutes. I couldn't wait until I returned. Non-negotiables can also include things like exercise, making sure you get to the gym or go for your walk every night. Whatever it is, you need to do what's important for you, set the boundaries, stick to those boundaries, because I'm telling you, you are going to feel a lot better. And if you don't do that, you will burn out. I guarantee it. The third thing you're going to have to do is really go inward and reconnect with what fills you. I used to be told and also saw leadership as like a gas tank, right? Most of us are running on fumes. We really don't have a full tank. My challenge to you is try to find or reconnect to the things that you really love and enjoy. I'll give you a sample. So for me, I love travel. Now, I can't travel all the time. Obviously, you have to work, you have to make money, you have to do things, right? So when I'm not able to travel, what do? I watch travel videos. It fills me up. I enjoy them. I also love Disney. I've always been a big Disney fan. I've got Mickey Mouse up there on the shelf, and I love to go to the parks. It's been a while since we've been there. Every so often, if I just want to fill my cup and get a bit of a fix, I watch some vlogger that does videos in the parks, and I just enjoy that. So do whatever fills you up. If going out with friends every Friday night does it, then do that. Prioritize that as an activity so that you can fill up your cup. Because the idea here, it's not about balance, because work-life balance is a bit of a misnomer. I don't really believe in it. It's a bit of a misnomer. I actually believe in integration. So it's more like a seesaw. Some days you're going to be more in line with your personal self, and other days you're going to be more in line with your work self. And the idea in the seesaw is to sometimes it's balance and sometimes it's more of one than the other. But the idea is it always goes back and forth. It's not always like this. It's not always work is heavy, work is heavy, work is heavy. There should be more of a flow between what you're doing in your personal life, your spiritual life, than your work life. It's about looking at areas of your life that really are important to you. What do you value? What do you desire more of in your life? And connecting with that and adding more of that in your life as much as possible. Now, I just want to make a point that when you're actually burnt out, you may not have the energy for that. You're going to be completely exhausted. You're like, you know what? I don't have time or energy for one more thing in my life. But what I found was there were certain things like the videos on YouTube, for example, that I really enjoyed. And it wasn't a huge amount of energy or investment of like anything, really. It was like, I got 15 minutes, I'm going to watch this. And it would give me a little jolt, a little energy, something I enjoyed, maybe a good laugh, whatever. So really it's about filling the day with those little moments so that you feel more fulfilled with your life as a whole. Offer yourself compassion and get help if you need it. That's the next piece. For me, compassion was about, listen, I'm burnt out, I'm stressed out, I'm maybe not my best self right now. That's okay. What I need to do is figure out how I'm going to get out of this mess. Like, who can help me here? So that's when, you go to a therapist, for example, to do the head talk. They have some amazing techniques, cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, for example, that can help you getting out of your head and really get to changing and shifting how you think about things or how you're processing in your mind. I reached a ceiling in my healing and I ended up not really serving myself because eventually I just sort of reached a plateau. And for me to go deeper, I ended up having to go into my body. So I did two things. I got an executive coach to support me in initially it was to be for career, but then I decided I wanted to change my career. So she actually ended up being my career shift coach, if you will, and helped me develop my exit strategy. That was key. But the other piece too was I ended up going to heart breath therapy, which my colleague Loretta Cella who's the heart breath therapist from British Columbia, Canada. What she did is she helped me, taught me and guided me through these journeys where I would go using my breath into my body, tapping into my heart energy and going into the places and spaces where I was holding stress, trauma, tension, and breathing into those spaces through, like I said, a 45, 55-minute journey. And then I would release that stress through that journey and then relax and be able to sort of recover and integrate all of that post-session. What I found was after one or two sessions of these things, I started to go, wow, like not only is this really great for me and I could see the impact and I actually felt a lot lighter after having done these, but I also started to feel more hopeful. I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the ticket. And eventually after a few more sessions, I started to realize, hey, wait a minute now. I'm an executive coach now. I could offer this to clients. Hey, do you teach this? And she's like, yeah, I have a cohort starting. I'm like, great, sign me up. So now I'm a heart breath coach. I get to do this now. So I help leaders now go deep, connect with those places and spaces where they hold their tension, their stress in their bodies. It's rooted in science. It connects you to your neurological system and helps to reset. So seek the help that you need. If it's a counselor, if it's a breathwork coach, if it's an executive coach, if it's a really good friend, whatever the case may be, find someone or a group that can help you to start supporting you. So you, one, don't feel so isolated and alone because you're not. There are many, many leaders out there struggling just like you. And two, to give you the support and accountability you need to start taking those steps forward. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is if you've done all those things, you've prioritized, you've set boundaries, you've reconnected with the things that fill you, and you're still not happy. Things are still not right. You're doing your values assessment and you're looking at your life and you're going, you know what? Maybe this isn't what I'm meant to do. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. And in that internal inquiry process, especially if you get a coach, they'll help you do that, is you may find that, hold on a second, now that I've been thinking this through, I'm thinking, I don't know that I want to do this anymore. I think I want to do that instead. So hiring someone or working with somebody close to you to start developing the exit strategy for a career pivot might be your last case scenario. Preventing burnout or even recovering from burnout is a process, and it can take several weeks and sometimes months to overcome or to manage. It's a process of recognizing exactly what you're looking for, what you want in your life, setting boundaries, allowing yourself the time and the space, right, to start implementing strategies, not hesitating to seek professional help if you need it. And if you really need to, pivot, change careers, move on to something different. Your health is the most important thing in your life. Without health, you have nothing. So don't wait for it to be completely depleted before trying to prioritize it. If you found this video useful, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps this channel out. In the meantime, down below, I have a gift for you. It's an instant calm meditations, 13-minute audio meditation. Just click on the link. It's completely free. It's there to help you ground yourself in the moment, and really connect with yourself and what you desire in your life. And if you're feeling overwhelmed as a leader and you're looking for someone to help you out and guide you, I might be able to help you out. There's a link below for a 15-minute call. No pressure. Let's just have a conversation, see what the options are and whether or not I can help you. Take care out there. Until next time.